Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 14 of What If Naruto Was the Otsutsuki King. Remember to get this on to 300 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, stay in tune because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was Raised by the Hyugas. So stay tuned for that guys and I hope you guys enjoy. And over on Anime King 2 I'm going to be posting What If Naruto Pushed Himself to His Limit. So stay tuned for that guys and I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was a God Amongst Man. So stay tuned for that and I hope that you guys enjoy it as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Ariana led Naruto towards the camp, as Naruto told her to stay here. On getting there, Naruto arrived to see the cage with all of the girls inside. One of the bandits was just about to take advantage of one of the little girls, but Naruto separated the man's head and kicked away his body, caught the little girls in his arm. The girl felt a warmth, so she did not fight back, as Naruto freed all of them and telling them to run. But one of the older ones told him that there was another. She was taken by the leader some time ago. As Naruto told her that he will handle it. Arriving in the camp, the goons, all of them started to chuckle because they were a part of the main bandit camp around these parts. Silver, the greatest bandit in their eyes, and a well-known bandit was their leader, subduing all of them by freezing the ground and freezing them to their ankles. Silver came out as Naruto saw the poor little girl, as she was in bad condition bleeding. It got Naruto pissed off, seeing someone like her age and this big overgrown man. He created a clone that took away the girl. When the girl finally reached their group, she was hugged by the others. They then heard screams as Naruto tortured Silva until the man was begging for death, as Naruto impaled him several times over with wooden spikes. He then snapped all the others' necks with the wooden tentacle that came from the ground. After that, he delivered the girls safely, as they weren't too far away from the village that they were going to. After doing that, he said his goodbyes, as they wanted to thank him. They wanted to repay him for his kindness, but Naruto told him that they opened his eyes to see something, how more corrupted the outside world was. And with that, he flew away. Orochimaru was currently inside his hideout. He was deep under the ground of Hidden Sound. They will be moving out tomorrow. They were just going to pack up everything when a large spear teared through the ceiling, tearing through Orochimaru. As Naruto landed, Orochimaru was now sweating. His hands were completely useless, seeing that Naruto knew that this would just be a mercy killing, but he was going to make Orochimaru suffer. Kabuto then went off as he came back with the Sound 4, as the Sound 4 took on Naruto while Orochimaru tried to escape, but Naruto dealt with each of them efficiently, killing each of them. He then went after Orochimaru, but he was stopped by Kimimaro and a ton of other Sound ninjas. As Orochimaru was running, something flew past him. He noticed it was Kimimara's head. As Naruto came there, Kabuto attacked Naruto to try and give Orochimaru time to flee, but with a well-placed strike right into Kabuto's stomach, as Naruto released a force that sent Kabuto sailing through a couple of walls, smashing, as he was broken all about. But he was healing himself slowly. Naruto and Orochimaru then went at it, as Orochimaru transformed to a giant Hydra snake with 8 heads. Going inside, Naruto repelled everything, blowing the snake to pieces, as Orochimaru dropped on the ground trying to slither away. But Naruto stomped on him, as Naruto was going to destroy everything that he has created so far. He was the one that took over the hidden sound, and for a moment he did love this place. Naruto grabbed his head as he went through Orochimaru's mind, seeing a POV of Orochimaru's entire life, everything. Even seeing the Akatsuki, every single jutsu that Orochimaru ever practiced, every jutsu that he found, everything. As Naruto decided to show Orochimaru that there was no way he could have stopped him in the first place. As Naruto slammed his hands together, once releasing his hand, a small orb was there, just floating, and it resembled the sun. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the playlist and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we start this new episode? Orochimaru stood there in shock. Above him was Naruto. Kabuto was a distance away, still healing himself after the attack that Naruto placed on him. As Kabuto pushed himself out of the rubble, the moment he looked up, his body quivered in fear. It was pure fear. He could see Orochimaru on the ground. He was also afraid. Despite everything that Orochimaru has done over the years, the man was shaking. To know that there was someone out there like this, to know that there was a kid that could bring him and everything down to their knees. While all of this was going on, Black Zetsu was watching everything. A distance away though, because that attack was enormous. As Naruto was holding up a giant ball of pure fire. It wasn't normal like any fire jutsu. It was so potent, as fire was basically leaking off of it. The moment it touched the ground, it incinerated things. As Naruto was pouring a lot of chakra into this, and seeing that his chakra is basically endless, and he still had the 3 Toma seal on it. It was enormous. I already promised the third before his death that if anything happened, I would annihilate everything that you have created. And the first thing being this. Naruto thrust the monstrous ball of energy. The people of the hidden sound, who were already broken because of their harsh condition, could only watch as their life was going to be stripped away from them now. The last thing that they had, as they saw the massive ball of energy coming down towards them. Some of them didn't even scream, they just wait for death, while most of them did. Countless of life, even though the sound wasn't such a large place, countless of lives were taking a massive explosion. Orochimaru was sent sailing away because of the force. Kabuto was sent flying away as well. The force was just so strong, and it came with an intense heat that was incinerating everything in a wave. As Kabuto's body dropped right down into a lake, that just flowed him away, as he went unconscious but still alive. As Naruto stood up in mid-air, just watching the entire thing just burn. When a couple seconds passed, there was nothing. And it was literally nothing. No buildings, not even a shred of paper, not even a slippers, nothing. Everything was just gone, leaving a massive crater where the hidden sound once was. As Naruto looked down without mercy or care in his eyes, the people of the sound were already dead on the inside. But none of this really mattered to him. As he then turned his eyes to see Orochimaru. Orochimaru had given up hope by this point. There was no way of outrunning this boy. There was no way of out-battling him. No way of overpowering him. He didn't see anything that he could do. Black Zetsu emerged from the ground because he had to went inside to block the massive wave of pure force that released from the attack. Mother completely underestimated his power. To think, this is not all that he has to offer. I have to do something quickly. Because if this continues, if he finds out about the Akatsuki, he will just annihilate them one by one. Not even the Rinnegan can stand up to those eyes, Black Zetsu said, seeing Naruto peering eyes looking down at Orochimaru. Naruto started his descent as he came down rather fast, crashing into the ground like a bullet, right in front of Orochimaru. Orochimaru just looked up at him, as Naruto could see the broken look on Orochimaru's face. But Naruto wasn't done there. A solid kick planted in Orochimaru's face, knocking him straight down into the ground, as blood started to gush from his mouth. Naruto raised his hand up in the air as 5 black rods created, as he drive each of them down. Orochimaru winks out in pain and agony, as one of them tear through his right arm, another through his left, 2 of them ripping through his legs, and a large one piercing through his stomach. What do you have now? Naruto said, as he just stood there looking down at Orochimaru. I have taken away your village. I have taken your chance of gaining the Sharingan. But now that you see my power, is the Sharingan real that powerful, Naruto asks? You wanted to learn every jutsu in the world. I went into your mind and I saw everything that you have learned so far. And the things that you did to gain them. Kidnapping innocent kids who were no older than 12. Experimenting on them, turning them into creatures. And then sending someone to slaughter them. Forcing that girl to kill that kid's mother so you could hang it over her head. So if she ever stepped out of line, you could tell the kid and make her suffer because you know how much she cared about that little boy. As you could see the guilt she feel, looking in that little boy's eyes, knew that she was the one who took his mother from him. You have not said a word yet. Do you expect me to feel guilty for my actions? Do you expect me to care for what I'm doing to you? Well, I don't. Orochimaru looked at Naruto. There is no point. I don't see any way out of this. Well, you are the famous Snake Sanin. I thought you would find a way, Naruto said, in a humor tone. But let me guess, right now you think that one day, someone will revive you. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes at Naruto. Yes, he was planning on that. That you may one day come from Uncle's seal. Orochimaru's eyes widened in shock as he couldn't believe what he just heard. As he then remembered, the boy did go through his mind. But there wasn't like anything he could do. As a smile came on Naruto's face. A wicked, evil smile. I have seen your soul transfer jutsu through your memories. And you place your soul fragment into your... what do you call them? Your subjects. But if I do this right, I will be able to wipe you from the face of this earth. Naruto raised his hand up in the air. Orochimaru was about to slit her out of his mouth when Naruto created a black rod and shoved it right into his throat, piercing a giant hole in it. You're not going anywhere yet, Naruto said, as Orochimaru scoffed out. As Naruto raised his hand, it started to glow with an intense wave of chakra. The chakra slowly started to change as Naruto was focusing, giving it a golden color. Pushing his hand forward, it went through Orochimaru, like his body wasn't even there. Orochimaru could feel Naruto rooting around inside of him, as it felt like the boy was literally ripping his soul out of him as Orochimaru tried to fight it off, but he couldn't. Thank you for all the information, Naruto said to him. Now, as Naruto gripped onto something tight that made Orochimaru's eyes widen, as he ripped it out, Orochimaru's eyes staggered a bit, before closing, never to be open again. Now in the palm of his hand was a blue substance. To think, even though you're pure evil, your soul never show it, Naruto said, as he had Orochimaru's soul in his hand. Naruto then started to apply pressure to it, as the golden chakra started to squeeze down on it. Orochimaru's soul struggled as it tried to break free, but it could not. Finally, applying so much pressure, the thing exploded in Naruto's hand, releasing waves of small blue fragments in the air as they just dissolve in time. Meanwhile, in Konoha, Uncle was currently in the forest of death. As she was eating a dango, suddenly she felt pain, intense pain on her neck. Thinking that the seal was riling up, she tried to hold on to it, but she then felt even more pain. As she collapsed off the tree, she dropped to the ground at thud. As she started to cry out in pain, she didn't know what was happening. What is going on, she said. As the pain then vanished, she quickly removed her shirt, and what she saw shocked her. The seal, it was gone. Meanwhile, Naruto plopped down on the ground. As he has done so much today, he figured he needs a rest, as his body still gets fatigued sometime. Suddenly he felt something. His eyes narrowed. A Rasengan formed in his hand as he drove it into the ground, exploding the ground underneath him. As Naruto got up to his feet, as he just felt something siphoning off his chakra, he then saw Black Zetsu emerge a distance away. Trying to take me out yourself? Oh God no, said Black Zetsu. You know, that I thought about it. We're actually related. And how so? Naruto asks. Well, your mother was the one that created me. So, she's my mother as well. So that makes me her son. You being her rightful son, we're actually brothers. But you find a hard way to accept that truth, brother. So I'll have to force you to find a way. When mother arrives, the world will stop hunting you. And what do you mean by that, Naruto asks. I'm afraid I have no choice. You're just too powerful, Akatsuki, Naruto said, making Zetsu stop in his tracks. What did you just say? I saw Orochimaru memories. He was a part of this group known as the Akatsuki. But in the first place, you guys were just a mercenary group. Hired work. But now, you guys hunt the tail beast. Zetsu was in shock. How do you? I told you I went through his memories. I saw everything. Saw a small portion of the members. And to think, that is where Itachi's been all along. And this man who called himself Pain, the real leader of the group. From what you tell me about our mother to bring her back, I am not so sure that the real leader know that you want to do that. So you're perhaps the one manipulating everything. This is all the more reason I have to get rid of you, said Black Zetsu. And how do you plan on doing that? You will see soon enough, brother. But don't worry, once mother arrives, I am sure she can explain everything. She will make you see the light. And perhaps we can be a true family. Naruto chuckled a bit. Even if you're thinking that this Kaguya woman is going to be revived, that I am not going to stop the Akatsuki from touching Mito, you're sadly mistaken. But do you really think that once she's back, she will give you a second look? You're just a piece of a vermin, a black creature, a substance. Do you even have a soul? Do you even know what it means to be alive? Black Zetsu narrowed his eyes at Naruto. Well, it doesn't matter, because soon enough I'll catch you, and I'll rip you apart with my bare hands. Black Zetsu sank under the ground without saying anything else, as Naruto felt his presence completely vanish. As Naruto then sit back down, looking at Orochimaru's corpse, he already dealt with that. Looking towards the distance, he already dealt with the hidden sound. Meanwhile, a distance away, Kabuto's body washed up a far distance. As Kabuto slowly regained consciousness, all of the memories hit him. He was pretty sure that Orochimaru was dead by now, because Orochimaru didn't have the strength or the power, and even if he had, he couldn't fight that boy. As Kabuto felt pure hatred towards Uzumaki Naruto, and he's gonna spend his life goal now to make him suffer. As Naruto disregarded him like he wasn't even there. But soon enough he will show him. He will show this entire world who is Kabuto. As he slowly picked himself up, as he's going to start the experiment. Meanwhile, Naruto was walking. After going through Orochimaru memories, he had things to do. There was a water boy here. His name was Zetsu, but Naruto was pretty sure he was dead, because that attack incinerated everything in the other base that was in the hidden sound. But there was also someone he wanted to see. Her name was Karin Uzumaki. He was surprised that there was another Uzumaki out there. And he has to also dealt with these Akatsukis. All of them were S-rank members. To think that Itachi joined this group, that hasn't slipped his mind, as he remembered that night seeing Mikato and Fukaku's body on the ground. That woman was very nice to him and Mito, and he hated Itachi for that, as he see no reason why Itachi slaughtered his entire clan and leaving Sasuke behind. But Naruto was not stupid. He knew that there was something there, because the old man refused to look him in the eyes when he spoke about it, because he knew that Naruto could tell when people are lying. So he refused to look at Naruto, and he told Naruto that it was classified, the rest of the information, when Naruto was the one that brought Sasuke to his home, and that was really dumb. And there was also someone else, that one with the orange mask. Who was he? Because Orochimaru had no memories of him. So who was he exactly? But for one thing, Naruto knew that this Pain was not the real leader. Black Zetsu, that thing, was the one behind everything, using them to accomplish his goal of bringing Kaguya back. Meanwhile, on a planet far distant away from Earth, Amara was sitting down in her chambers, when there was a knock. "Come in," she said. As slowly a man entered the room. The man looked over at her with a smile, as she greeted him back with a smile. As he sat down, After sitting down, he got straight to what he wanted to talk about. When is it safe for us to go to Earth and visit him? Amara looked at him. I told you it's not safe yet. If the others find out, they will report it straight back to him. And if he finds out, he will surely want to know. And if he gets his hands on the young king right now, he will surely kill him. Even though they're brothers, he wants to take over the throne. Knowing that the young king is the only one who can possibly rival him, he will kill him as soon as possible. And with all of his forces, not even the young king can handle him. But I won't just let my family suffer, the man said. You're not going to let him suffer, Amara said. We just have to keep them down low for now. And tell me something. You were the one that told Kaguya to flee there, didn't you? As the man nodded, that was why, she said. Because none of us has been there. So they would hardly expect that she has went there. I couldn't just stand by. After all he did to her, she deserved to leave this place and live a normal life. But still, the past actions are still coming back to haunt all of us. And I have to see my nephew. I have to talk to him. I have to know how strong he is. And it doesn't matter if he brings his entire army. I will stand on the front line with my nephew and face off against him. As Amara smiled, don't worry. The both of us will be there, Ishiki, she said. And we also have him and a few others. Ishiki smiled hearing that, as he just turned towards the window. You hang in there, he said. Back on Earth, Naruto was currently flying over the water. As he finally came to an island, he landed. As this was the hideout where she were, Karin Uzumaki. He looked around. Meanwhile, Karin was currently in her studies. For a young girl, she has moved up. Even though she's still not 100% in charge yet, she has surely moved up as Orochimaru gave her the reins to control this place. Well, there was two other scientists here, which she had to listen to. But she knew that one day she will be in charge of this hideout. There was many prisoners here, who she had to run an experiment on. It bothered her at first, but after a while it didn't bother her anymore. After what Lord Orochimaru did for her, and because she wanted to move up in the ranks, she will do things without a question, as she was currently in the room going through some paperwork. Despite being young, she was quite knowledgeable in these kind of things, as the two other scientists were in the room, also going through paperwork. When Karin's hand started to shake, what is that, she said. Karin had a special sensing ability, and she sensed it. Something touched down on the island. Karin, what is going on? The man asked. As another woman scientist walked over, are you okay? As Karin looked quite pale, as she then barfed. She couldn't take it anymore. Something was coming. Something different that she never felt this amount of power before. It was too overwhelming for her systems, as she had to barf. It was giving her motion sickness. She couldn't even stand straight. The person was releasing their power on purpose. It was like a fossil that wouldn't shut off. Meanwhile, Naruto was outside flexing his power, as, from what he knew through Orochimaru memories, Karin had a rare sensory type ability. But Naruto wasn't flexing his power to destroy the place, just to release the aura, as she could feel it. He had no doubt about that. Making his power settle back down, Naruto waited. After a while, he realized that no one was coming out. He decided to take steps into his own hands. Arriving at two large gates, he saw people on the wall looking down at him. Who the hell are you? One of them asked. But Naruto didn't look up to face him. Walking up to the gate to put his hand on it, a kunai nearly pierced his hand. I ask you again, who the hell are you? It doesn't matter, the other guard said. Kill him. If he finds out what is behind these gates, it will be surely damaging for us. As the both of them started to rain down kunais and shurikens on Naruto. But before they could hit, Naruto created a pedestal that pushed him straight up above the both of them. Now looking down at both of them, he held out both of his hands, as an electric current came out of it, zapping both of the guards in their guard tower, stopping their hearts. He then quickly jumped over the metal gate, landing on the other side. The moment he did that, a sealing array light up the entire ground, as it was defense measures. The sealing array light for a second before exploding. An explosion that blew off the gate and destroyed the guard towers. Karin was inside as she rushed out. The two other scientists followed behind her. Despite feeling the overwhelming power that made her barf, Karin sensed a trait of Uzumaki in this person. She was surprised because if he was a Uzumaki, why was it so small? It was just strange. Rushing outside, she saw the explosion went off. As she waited, the two scientists stepped forward. I think that Percy's been blown to smithereens. Yeah, the woman said. Let's go back and continue the research, shall we? Karin then spin around. Huh. You're surely good with your sensory abilities, Naruto said, as he was leaning against a wall, not even a scratch on him. The first thing she noticed was his hair. His long red hair. Who are you, she asked. Naruto didn't answer her question. You two. You work for Orochimaru, he said. The both of them looked at him confused. How did he know? But they couldn't get to finish that sentence, as two rods pierced through their skull. Their bodies dropped to the ground with a thud. Karin stepped back in shock and fear. All he did was wave his hands, and those things materialized in the air, killing her two comrades. How did you? As she started back away, Naruto stepped forward. One step and the ground cracked. Karin's eyes went wide as he started to push out that chakra again, but this time in a ferocious show of strength. The ground broke as he stepped again. How do you feel, Naruto asked, knowing that your life could end here right now? After all the terrible experiments you did on people, innocent people that were taken from their village. Why shouldn't I kill you? You're just a monster who was working for Orochimaru. As Karin didn't even say anything. Tell me, did you enjoy what you did? As she didn't speak. Answer me, he said, his voice shaking the very island because of the force of chakra that he put behind it, as Karin had to hold her ears. No, she said, as she was shaking all over her body. She felt like she was about to wet herself, as she felt sick and pale again like she was about to barf. This chakra was just something else. It was on a different level. He then gave her a stern look, as the chakra then vanished. It seems you're not lying, but a part of you did enjoy it. But you were sickened by that part of yourself and questioned your life many times. But you're a fellow Uzumaki, I won't kill you. So you're one as well, she said. Yes, I am. Naruto stepped forward to give her helping hand up, but she didn't take it. She picked up her own self because she was scared. She was scared for her very life just looking at this boy. Well, what are you? She asked. To tell you the truth, I don't even know that myself, he said. What? Said Karin. Come, we have much to discuss, he said to her. Moments later, I don't believe you, Karin said. She felt the overwhelming power from him earlier, but could he really have killed Orochimaru? Karin knew that she had no choice, because coming in here, he slaughtered everyone at the guards who could actually put up a fight. The only thing that were left were the prisoners, so she had to sit down and listen to him. As Naruto was sitting down across from her, he got up, stepping towards her. She didn't feel fear anymore because she felt that he had no intention to kill her. Putting his hand on her forehead, the memories flashed through her mind, with him ripping out Orochimaru's soul. Dressing back, Karin looked at him, as she was in shock. You actually did it. Right now she felt useless. With Orochimaru gone, what would she do? As she didn't know what to do at this point. He was her main supporter. He was the one that was supposed to promote her to take over this place. But he was gone now. She was questioning her entire life. I have a sister, Naruto said, breaking her from her thoughts. She looked towards him. I believe the both of you will get along together well. You're a Uzumaki as well. And I believe the village of Konoha will accept you. Konoha, she said. As she knew that Lord Orochimaru came from that village. But why would she want to go there? She then remembered something, as she looked at him with a scowl. No, she said. as Naruto looked at her rather confused. What? Do you rather stay here? In this hellhole, Naruto asked. That's not what I'm talking about. From what I know, there are few Uzumakis in the world. I don't know much about the clan, but I know that they were allied with Konoha, and they were a very prestigious clan in their time. Do you really think I'm going to allow myself to be a livestock, a breeding program for those people? Naruto looked at her rather confused, until it clicked to him. He once heard something about that. When a clan was dying out, they made the other members of the clan had multiple sex partners. That is why the Kumo tried to kidnap Hinata all those years ago, so they could use her to bring the Byakugan in to Kumo. As Naruto chuckled a bit. What's so funny, Karin asks. Well, if anyone ever bring that idea up with Mito, I would kill them. Karin looked at him as she knew that he was dead serious, as she heard it in his tone. And you don't have to worry about anything like that. Why would I go anywhere with you, she asks. I don't even know you. You just walk in here claiming to be a Uzumaki. Yes, you're strong and you kill Orochimaru. But all I know, you could be someone trying to take advantage of me. Just because you know, after taking Orochimaru out, there's no reason of me still going on. And this place gonna slowly crumble after a while when the news spread. That's perhaps right. You shouldn't trust anyone. But despite your wrong actions in the past, I didn't kill you. Those two back there, they were scientists for Orochimaru as well. I killed them in a wimp. So, I'm not really giving you much of a choice. Because if you decide to stay here, you're gonna continue their experiment and keeping people chained up and locked up. And I would have to force to raise my hand and snap your neck, he said. Karin reached up as she held onto her neck, as she just felt a small jolt from the way he spoke. It scared her even more. I don't mean to scare you, Naruto said. But I've come to realize that there are very bad people in this world. Sick, psychotic people. I recently met one of them, and I had to torture him in the worst way possible. His name was Silver. He owned this gang, kidnapping and raping young, defenseless little girls. Karin clenched her fist because she hated people like that as well. So, you're a good person then, she asks. Well, in moments, he said to her. What does that mean, she asks. Naruto got up. Are you coming back with me? Yes or yes, he said. What? Where's the option no, she asked him. I wasn't giving you that option. Karin looked around as she started to think over her entire life. As her life was pure misery, her mother was used for her rear chakra for to heal people in the war. She was also used as a child until Orochimaru found her. Was she just gonna keep on being used? As she looked up at Naruto, the look on his face, he wasn't lying when he spoke. What exactly would I be doing in Konoha? Come to think of it, I never really thought about reviving the Uzumaki clan. Mito wants to be Hokage. So, it is up to you what you want to do. You have already that medical jutsu inside your body to heal people. You can become a medic nin. I am sure that you can find some way to utilize that ability to create some kind of different level medical ninjutsu art, he said. You know, I never really thought of that, said Karin. And that you're coming back with us now. I will have to take the Namikaze compound. The Namikaze compound? What does that have to do with anything, she asks. Well, Minato Namikaze is Mito's father. Karin was shocked that he would just tell her that. Do you really trust me that much? Why wouldn't I? You're coming back with me. You know, for a strong person, you're really not that smart. And why is that, Naruto asks. Well, you just gave me something very important. You know how much the Hidden Stone hates Minato Namikaze. What if I were to inform them that he has a kid? And you're his son as well, right? If Mito is your sister. Naruto didn't answer that question. Well, I can tell you this because you wouldn't even get 100 feet near to the Hidden Stone if you wish to tell them that information. Karin just nerded her eyes at him. And what's that supposed to mean? I'm dumb, you're smart. Figure it out, Naruto said. As he started to walk, Karin sighed as she walked behind him, knowing that she pretty much has no option. What about my equipment, she said. Your equipments? Yes. I love to create different kind of weapons. That can be your thing. Making weapons for Konoha. I'm sure they will love you for that. But no human experiments, he said. Wouldn't dream of it, she said. Well, if I can just go to the sound, there should be some... Well, you can't, Naruto said. And why is that, she asks. Because I annihilated the place. What do you mean, Naruto touched her on her forehead. Karin saw the vision. She stepped back. How did you... As she just looked at him. She didn't really care about normal people's life either, but... You killed that entire village. They deserved it, Naruto said. After attacking Konoha, my sister was nearly hurt. And she received mental damage after the third death and seen her mother. So I don't really care about what happened to them. And you say I'm evil, she said. Suppose we're both evil, Naruto said to her. What about the people here, she asks. As Naruto didn't say anything and he just kept on walking, Karin followed behind him. Naruto came up to a cell. There was many cells. As many of the people glared at Karin, because she was the one who experimented on them. Now looking at this newcomer, they were going to hate him as well. As Naruto looked at the people, most of them looked like they were already dead and given up. Seeing like they were here for a very long time, and they had several disfigured parts on their body, already been experimented on and failed experiments. But they still retained their mentality, so they weren't killed. Leave them be, Naruto said. And you say I'm evil, said Karin. They have already given up hope, most of them. And what are they going to do now after they're free? Go back and live in society? I'm sure that many people already think that they're dead. It's better to stay that way. No, you're really cold-hearted, Karin said. Naruto created a clone, as a clone went to get all of her equipments. Well, if you're going to do that, there is more equipment that Orochimaru never let me work on. Some things that are more even top-notch. At the east, at one of the hideouts. Can you get those for me as well, she asks. A clone poofed into existence, as it then flew away with tremendous speed. Thank you, she said. But Naruto didn't answer her. Arrived on the outside, she saw that the clone that went to gather her equipment hasn't come out yet. 5 minutes passed, he said nothing. Karin started to tap her foot on the ground impatiently. What is going on, she asks. As Naruto didn't say anything until at least 30 more seconds passed. He's finished. Finished what? Well, it would be a hassle to drag everything back to Konoha. So, Naruto raised his hand up in the air. Karin then saw the space in front of her shift as a black strange. It was like a portal, but it was small in size. Open up. He put his hand inside and pulled out one of Karin. Clipboards. Huh? What is that? Well, something I recently created, my own pocket dimension. Karin was taken aback by that. You created this? What exactly are you, she said. Because from the power you show and the things you can do, you don't even seem human. Well, perhaps you can experiment on me and find out what I am. Really? Karin said. Don't be stupid, Naruto said to her. Hey, you're the one that said it. Naruto then walked over to her and got rather close. Hey, what are you doing? She asked, as he picked her up bridal style. Hey, what are you... As he started to flow in the air. Calm down. It's going to take much longer to walk there. As he took off with that screaming Karin. Meanwhile, that was going on. Mito was in a hotel room. As she was going through some scrolls that Jiraiya left her with. On some new Wind Affinity abilities. As Jiraiya had went out. As he was still on the search for Tsunade. They had been on the road for some time now. But Jiraiya did told her that it would probably take a month for them to get Tsunade and return back home. So she wasn't really concerned about that. They were currently in Tanzuka village. Jiraiya said that he got a hint, so they came here as soon as possible. He said that he'll be back soon enough. Mito then heard someone knock on the door. Walking over to it, she thought that it was Jiraiya. As she slowly opened the door, Mito then came to a shock. Stepping back, she looked at the person in front of her. It's been a while since she's seen this person. This person she thought of as a close friend, even something near to family, because his mother was so nice to her. Mito, said Itachi. Mito quickly backed away. I need you to come with me, Itachi said. And why would I do that? After what you did, you show your face here? You know how much you put Sasuke through? You know how much I saw him crying at night? After what happened, even though I was still young back then, Naruto brought him to our house. And he stayed there for some time. And I woke him up to crying. I saw him crying a lot. It's because of you, you made him suffer. And you dare speak to me so casually. I might have respected you in the past, but now, you're nothing more than a traitor. Itachi said nothing, just giving her that blank stare. I suggest you come with me. Hey Itachi, what's taking so long, said a voice. Hearing that, Mito backed out of the room as Itachi gave her a space to pass. Seeing that she was in a long hallway, and Itachi was right there and she looked behind him. She recognized that face on the bingo book. You're Kisame, a former member of the 7 Ninja Swordsman. As Kisame smiled. Huh, it seems my reputation has gotten the best of me. So you know me, huh, kid? It's quite a shame that we have to take you. Well, you could have spread the word that Kisame is quite famous, he said. As he chuckled to himself. But no one found that funny. Well, Itachi, grab the brat and let's go. Why would I go anywhere with you, she said. As Itachi just looked at her. I'm afraid that is not an option, he said. Oh hell it is, said Mito, as she started to channel chakra. Itachi didn't notice as he scanned her with his eyes to see a seal in her arm start to light up. Hey Itachi, what's going on, asked Kisame. Meanwhile, Karin had calmed down as Naruto was flying her through the air. The breeze was rather soothing. As she wondered, where would her life go from now? Despite just knowing him, she kind of trusts him a bit. Because the way he talk, he don't go around the truth. He tell you plain and straight. And she liked that about him. What was she thinking? She shook her head. Well, if she was in Konoha, that was a real village. She wouldn't have to be on the run, be a criminal or anything like that. And seeing that no one knows of her connection with Orochimaru, it would be safe for her, right? Naruto then stopped in the air, as she nearly fell, but he grabbed her tight. What's wrong? She asked, as she saw a seal in his arm. She read about the Uzumakis and knew that they were quite good in sealing, but she wondered what was that. He then turned in the opposite direction and took off. With so much speed, Karin lost her glasses as he fly off her face. Meanwhile, hey brat, what did you just do? Asked Kisame. As Mito smiled. Itachi, you know that you really hurt Naruto what you did. Even though he doesn't show emotions that much, I can tell it hurt him. Because he never expected that you would do something like that. And even though he doesn't show it, he really did care about your mother. Because she was nice to us. And back then we didn't have parents. And you killed her. That woman that protected me and Naruto back then. You took her away. And I won't forgive you for that, Mito said. As she started to flare her chakra. Itachi just stood there, but Kisame stepped past him. As he swiped his sword. Mito was surprised when her chakra was gone. What did you do? Oh, Samihata here just eat away your chakra. It'd come in handy for people like you. Mito know that she didn't have any chance winning against them. That was Itachi after all. And Kisame, the both of them were S-rank criminals. Itachi, a voice shouted. As Itachi has been to the Leaf recently, and they faced off against Kakashi. When Guy came, they decided to flee. As Sasuke found Kakashi in the hospital, a furious Sasuke was standing there, his 3 Tomo Sharingan spinning wildly. So you finally made it. My stupid little brother, Itachi said. Turned around to face the furious Sasuke. And being that the lightning started crackling around Sasuke's hand. Itachi, I have fostered my hatred for you. And finally, seeing you now, I am going to show you everything. Meanwhile, on the far distant planet, in a chambers, someone was sitting down as he was looking through the window. I know you're out there, brother, he said. People might say that you're dead, but I can feel it. I know you're out there. And I know that the day will come when you find out about all of this. You want to take the throne for yourself, but I won't allow you to do that. I know that there are some out there that still think that you're the rightful heir for this throne. But I am the one that is really worthy. You're nothing but scum to me. And I will kill you in front of all of them. It's just a matter of time before I find you. And when I do, I will show you what true power is. But guys, to be any tips right here, if you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But for now, see you guys soon. Peace.